The company's history goes back to 1921, the year Karl Schäfer-Klute starts the production of curtain rod. A few years later, his son-in-law Wilhelm Blome takes over the small business. When the local air pump manufactory declares bankruptcy in 1932, Wilhelm Blome takes on their factory manager and begins producing metal air pumps for bicycles. During the 1930s, the bicycle is Germany's #1 means of transportation. Bicycle factories, situated mainly around Bielefeld and Nuremberg, are facing the rising demand. And then the pumps were assembled by the women sitting at the tables. They screwed in the valve connections and the pistons, so it used to be all manual production. Even then, quality bicycles are basically equipped with a pump. Wilhelm Blome extends the production facility. First warehouse is established in a timber-framed shed. At the same time, in France, the Tour de France evolves into a tremendous sporting event, fascinating people all across Western Europe. In the dust of French country roads, dramatic scenes are witnessed, pump becoming a major factor in the cyclists' fight for survival. In case of a puncture, racers must fend for themselves. Outside help leads to disqualification. It is even forbidden to lend a pump to another cyclist. Spare tires are tied around their shoulders. During the war, Wilhelm Blome can avoid enlistment in the Wehrmacht by producing cap nuts for aircraft as an armament factory. At the end of the war, the production facilities are confiscated as reparations by the Allies. Wilhelm Blome manages to resume his pump production. The post-war years demand improvisation and economy. In 1945, we delivered pumps to the bicycle factories in Bielefeld. In exchange, our representatives brought a couple of bicycles back with them. Bicycles went on to the Ruhr Valley, where we traded them for coal. In 1949, the first factory floor is extended. The first IFMA after the war took place in 1950. I was 16 then, and my father had a booth in the exhibition hall in Frankfurt, where the 6-day races were held. We had a booth of 10 square meters up on the balustrade. I was allowed to come because it was during the holiday. A top seller at that time, the motorcycle pump. This drawing is from 1952, with the Schrader valve head for inflating motorcycle tires, our first patent, resulting from this construction.
Mitte der 50er Jahre haben wir begonnen.
During the 1950s, we introduced the plastic barrel to become independent of steel tube supplies and increase the vertical range of manufacture. In 1956, the course is set for renewed growth, with the startup of production of plastic pumps.
Jeden Tag,
Every day my father was on the road. The little suitcase came with him. This here is the first steel pump, model number 107. And here the respective plastic model.
Diese Pumpe, das war die erste, die dann vollautomatisch gefertigt wurde.
And this pump was the first to be produced fully automated. On a transfer line, there were two sections. The piston was manufactured in the first with a grip, and then the barrel was fitted and the pump assembled. And completed like that, it came out of the machine.
Komplett lief die so fertig aus dem Automaten, bis an abgezählt zu.
The pumps were then packed into boxes of 50 pieces, and in the end the whole line was operated by only 3 people.
Zum Schluss mit 3 Personen die ganze Straße bedient. Mit einer Taktfrequenz.
It ran with a frequency of 78 to 82 per minute.
70 bis 82 je nach Type pro Minute. Noch genauso
today's done the same way I constructed it back then. Gorgeous! At the end of the 1960s, Belgium
in der Zeit.
Round about 1980, there was a growing demand for a pocket-sized pump, smaller and lighter still.
Eine Pumpe im Taschenformat.
And during these years, the so-called Airboy was developed. At the end of the 1980s, SKS sets a new trend with the development of the first mini-pump, a lightweight named Airboy, a trend that a few years later will revolutionize the whole market, the mini-pump. In the 1980s and 90s, Valentin Nöcker shapes the company as managing director. Under his management, SKS becomes market leader and major supplier of OEM pumps. SKS products are available in about 90 countries all around the world. Every day, up to 50,000 pumps leave the production line.
Es hat sich gezeigt, dass wirklich die Leute, die hier von der Pike an...
Over the years, it served us well to work with people who learned their job from scratch in our own company. Starting with my father's first employees, Mr. Horn, to Mr. Bussmann, and then, very quickly of course, Mr. Nöcker. And Mr. Nöcker has certainly been making history at SKS.
Bei SKS Geschichte geschrieben.
As the fourth generation, Wilhelm Blome enters the business in 1993. The drastic change in the market, from the OEM mass market product to the high-end after-sales product, is what Wilhelm Blome is confronted with at the time. At the end of the 90s, he initiates the consumer-oriented brand strategy. SKS becomes sponsor and supplier to one of the world's most successful racing teams, Team T-Mobile. In the pumps category, SKS Germany is elected Best Brand by the readers of Mountain Bike magazine 6 times in a row. At the beginning of the new millennium, Chief Operating Officer Michael Beste sets his objectives for the future way of in-house manufacturing at SKS. His challenge? To prove that Made in Germany is still a competitive strategy.